Today, we have a joy specialist and mindset coach, Beth Taylor, who has a 10-year coaching legacy and a 30-year history of pioneering her own path. Welcome to All in Wellness, where we explore the journey to holistic well being. I'm your host, Amanda Lamage, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this exciting adventure towards a healthier and happier life. We'll uncover valuable insights, expert advice, and inspiring stories that empower you to take charge of your well being. So, whether you're looking to enhance your physical health, nurture your mental resilience, or simply find a moment of peace in your day, you're in the right place. Let's embark on this journey together, embracing all the possibilities that wellness has to offer. Hello, and thank you for joining us on another fabulous episode on the All in Wellness Show. Thanks for joining us. We have Beth Taylor. How are you today?
Hi, Amanda. Very good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for joining. And I would love to share a little bit about your bio, and then you can give us a little introduction as well. And Beth, currently you're in Italy, correct?
Correct.
And you're from
Originally from the UK.
amazing. And you are a joy specialist and a mindset coach with a 10-year coaching legacy and a 30-year history of pioneering your own path. And your journey didn't start in a boardroom, but in a shopping mall food court in 1996. And I would love to hear more about your background and a little bit about your bio if you could share with our listeners today.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Beth Taylor. I'm actually also known as the passionate pioneer in the wellness industry, in the spiritual industry, I could say. I'm a joy specialist, as Amanda said, and I'm the founder of the Passionista movement. So essentially, I help women to reclaim their joy in midlife, what I call midlife reclamation, using a 4-step roadmap to joy. Basically, stop being the supporting character in everybody else's life and start being the leading actress in your own life and be the passionista you were always meant to be. So basically, Amanda, I'm just going to say I'm here to prove that joy is not a luxury. It's actually your foundation and your compass.
I love that. I can relate because just being a people pleaser in the past and looking out for others, right? Always putting them first. It's a mindset shift for me. I had to do that just for myself and my own well being.
There's an epidemic, isn't there, of people pleasing, and that's one of the things I think that most of us, we're chasing happiness most of our lives, aren't we? We're chasing the next big thing. We're chasing the next car, the next house, the career move, chasing those things. Whereas joy is just your foundation, and you've got to build it into your life.
Mm-hmm. And I've also found just only we can do that for ourselves and not relying on someone else to fulfill that. And that was a journey for myself. I don't know about others out there, but it's just such a great thing to realize, right? Just the simple things in life as well that are free. And maybe just finding like we may already have it, it's already there. It's just we're so overstimulated and there's so much around us and we're maybe distracted. I think you make a very good point, and I love to incorporate the wellness routine daily, and I do 3 times a day. I think it's important to incorporate some sort of wellness routine. It's different for everyone, right?
It is. The joy journey is different for everybody because one man's treasure is another man's trash, right? So it's
Absolutely.
what brings you joy is different to what brings me joy. This is why I have all my programs are like bespoke, but I follow a basic 4-step roadmap. So first of all, we evaluate what is joy to you. That's the
Okay.
first step. It's because most women reach midlife. It's around 45, 50 years old, Amanda. It's that realization. Oh
It
my
is.
God, 30 years have gone by, right? What happened to those 30 or plus
Mhm.
years? And it's a reevaluation of, okay, I need to start putting myself first
Mhm.
and think about me. And it's funny because it's tied into the word selfish, which has a bad connotation, doesn't it? It puts
Mhm.
in, people say, oh, you're selfish. But that goes back to the people pleasing because when you do please yourself and you put yourself first and you put joy as a priority in your life, you're not pleasing other people and they're not very happy with you, right?
But it's so sad that we have to feel guilt, and we shouldn't feel that because I feel like if we're taking care of us, we're gonna be better for at performing at a higher level. Well, yes, our work environment, but also with our family and friends. I wonder, has there been anyone that's when you've asked them, "What is joy to you?" that said, "I don't know that I have any joy?"
Yeah. They think of happiness moments. And happiness is fleeting because happiness can be just a moment with a friend, having coffee, or a moment with the family, or with your children, or it's just a fleeting moment.
Mm.
Whereas joy is an absolute, it's your God given. We're really here to live joyful lives, and really, most of us are living joyless lives.
It's
We're
so
just
true.
in the monotony of going to work, being the mother, being the wife, being the businesswoman, being the
Mhm.
shopper. And we're just in that do energy that we never really stop and think, what do I want? What brings me joy?
And sometimes it just takes being present, being aware. Just there's so many things coming at us, and to be able to realize maybe not everything's an emergency that's in front of you, and to be able to prioritize yourself and just let that flow and happen for you is just a great process.
Like you said, Amanda, you've got that wellness routine 3 times a day. I would say most people probably don't have time 3 times a
Mhm.
day, but
Mhm.
it's really important that you find at least once a day to put yourself on your own schedule.
Mhm. And don't you think an hour a day is amazing if you can get it in? If you start in baby steps,
Minutes
anything you
is
can
good,
do.
10 minutes is good. You can just start very, just baby steps, right? Like you
Mhm.
said, baby steps.
I would love to hear more about your personal journey, what guided you to make a shift in coming from the corporate world into where what you do now, and it's just you
How long have we got?
okay, I love it. I think it's so important for others to hear.
The thing is, it's not a straight line, is it? It's never a straight line. It's very curvy and it's very bumpy. And you go in one direction, sometimes you get bumped into another direction. But I think my joy journey started when you kindly introduced me. You said in 1996, which was a long
Mhm.
time ago. But I decided that there had to be more to life. I was like 26 years old, and I was thinking there's got to be more to life than just working in this shopping mall, in this food court. And there's no such thing as coincidence, synchronicity. An old friend came along. She was working on the cruise ships. I didn't know anything about it. And I went to the library. I've never been to the library since that time. I think I used to go as a child, but there was no internet back then. Okay, that's how
Oh,
old
this
I
is so
was.
true, right?
So we had to do it old school, right? So I went to the library and there were lots of articles and interviews with crew members of ships. And it was like a big bell that ding a ling ling. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, looking back, I can say that's total synchronicity. I was meant to go, I was meant to find that information. And I had an interview. I can't remember where.
It
I
was
think I
meant to
went to
be.
another city, had an interview, and then I flew to Miami, Florida, and joined my first cruise ship. And that's how my travel journey started. And that's how my wellness and spiritual journey really started. Although I can only say that in hindsight, looking back.
It's
Didn't
great,
realize at the time, right?
and you talk about your in your background, what the world maybe saw as bad luck, you embraced as your lucky charm. And that mindset that saw you through your global adventure on the high seas and 15 years immersed in the vibrant cultures of the Cayman Islands, which is incredible. But the fact that the universe led you there, and I think that's the first step is being open, right? Maybe you're just at that point where you're
Absolutely.
ready
Yeah.
and just let the universe guide you.
You just
And
surrender.
you do.
You just surrender and just say, especially when you're young. I was only in my 20s. And
Mm,
when I went to work, you talked about the day. It's the number 13, actually, which is really unlucky in
mhm,
Western culture. In other cultures, it's a different day. But actually, in England, maybe the same as America, Friday the 13th is one of the
yes.
most unlucky days. But in fact, 3 times in my life, I've had major changes happen on Friday.
Mhm.
And it's such a superstitious nonsense that it's so unlucky. They don't even put number 13 in hotel floors.
This is true.
Or house numbers. It just goes number 12 to 40. This is how much it's ingrained into society is the number 13 is so unlucky. What? Who decided that?
It is so true, though. It is superstitious here
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. And so I want to talk about your signature blend of a practical mindset strategy and soulful ceremonies. That's what you empower the Passionistas
Yeah.
worldwide to
Yeah.
stop waiting for permission and start pioneering their own path to happiness. And can you give an example, if you're able to, how their journey was with you and how they benefited from that?
Oh, okay. I'll give you one journey. So when you reach, like I said, a certain age, 45, 50, you start evaluating your life and we're giving so much all the time. We're depleted.
We are.
And you're at that time of your life where the past is gone, the 30 years, where has that time gone? And
Mhm.
then the future is very short to retirement. It's like
It
panic.
is.
It's like that panic moment. Oh my God, my life is almost over, right?
Right. Or half over, right?
Or half over. Exactly. Because retirement, years ago, when people retired, they were basically just forgotten about, right?
Exactly.
65, we just put them out to pasture and that's the end of that. Whereas these days, your 40s and your 50s are the most amazing time, especially for women. And I inspire and motivate and coach women. And it's the most amazing time because you've got that wisdom, you've got that life experience. And you get to that point, and women come to me at that point and they're like, okay, now what do I do? I've had the career, I've had the children, I've had this great life, and I'm going to retire in 15 years, right? What do I do now? And so I just take them back to step one and say, okay, where is the joy in your life? And then we say, okay, and what's stopping you? What do you really want to do? I really would like to open my own business, or I'd really like to stop this, get out of corporate and have something else that's less stress and less pressure. And I think that's what most of us want, really, and more time for me. We want
Mhm.
some time for ourselves, right? And time to enjoy our life because we've just given most of it to other people. So
True.
now it's their time. And so that's the second step is okay, what can we do to make that better and to put you on your schedule? What brings
Love
you
that.
joy? How can we put you on your schedule? How can we start making those small changes? Because it's a kaleidoscope, isn't it? The monkey mind is going, I don't know what to do first. What can I?
Right.
So we just say, okay, let's calm it down. Let's reset the nervous system.
I think that's so
Let's
important.
take one step at a time. And then vision boards. Now, I've got a vision board and I love making vision boards.
I do
And that's
too.
just because you can see what you want
Mhm.
and it doesn't have to be complicated. And sorry, but I don't believe in just cutting lots of pictures and sticking them on the board and
Mm.
just looking at it because that's not the point of a vision board. It's got to be logical. And that's where you talked about the logic and the logical steps and soulful steps. And the logic for me is breaking it down into small steps. What can you do today? What's possible for you to do today to get towards that goal? And that's what we do, aligned action. What feels right for you? What's a little bit uncomfortable, but manageable? Just start small.
I think that's
And
realistic.
then you've got to sustain it. So then you've got to have a sustainable practice, even if it's once a day.
And I think it's starting where you're at, right? And do you have any mindfulness practices when you're working with folks that can help them just get
Yeah.
started?
Just do you, boo.
Yeah, I love that. It's so
Because
great.
again, it's women in their 40s and 50s do not want to be going to the gym to pump
No.
iron, right? And
Right. This is
so
true.
it's finding the practice that works for you. I'm not a gym person. I have been to the gym years ago. I had a personal trainer.
Mhm.
Now I live in the mountains. So I'm pretty fortunate the way I created my life. So I
Mhm.
take a walk in nature. So that's one thing that I suggest. Find a park. Get out of the concrete
Yeah.
just sucking your energy. And you'll realize that when you're in nature and you just go for a walk, you go into the park and read a book, you'll find, gosh, I feel so much better. Why do I feel so much better after being
Mhm.
in nature? And it's because we've got that symbiotic relationship with nature that has long been forgotten, although it's coming back into fashion, let's say.
That's a great way to put it. I think it's being still too and just being able to recognize how much nature is it's overpowering, and I would assume it helps our mental health and overall wellness. It's a whole, like you said, nervous system reset.
Yep. Yep.
Your body is feeling very different than when you're in the constant overstimulation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing for me, because I don't go to the gym, but I love to dance.
Me too.
That's the joy for me. So it's the joy and the exercise at the same time.
And it can be different for everyone. You don't have to be a professional dancer to enjoy it. You know,
No.
it can be fun. No
The
judgment, right?
70s, let's go back to the 70s
I love
disco, right?
70s. That is my era, and,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just love it.
It's fun, isn't
And
it? It's
it
fun
is.
music.
It really is. And do you have anything that you can recommend to someone? How do you handle days when you're just not feeling your best or just both physically and mentally? Is there any recommendation there?
Just take yourself off. I think these days, if you work for a company, they'll tell you you can have a mental health day, which I think
Mm,
is really good because that never existed when I was in the corporate world.
mm. Me
A
neither,
mental
unfortunately.
health day, what's
I
that?
think it's great.
So I think that's really great that companies allow you to do that. And as an entrepreneur, I can just reschedule. I
Right.
reschedule client meetings. Just take yourself off. If you're not feeling your best and you can't give your best and you're just having
Mhm.
a bad day because life happens, then just take a day off. You could sit and watch Netflix all day if you want. I think we feel guilty when we stop and we're not doing anything
Mm.
because we've been taught by society that's lazy. But it's so not.
It's good
So
for
good.
us.
Really good for you just to take a day off and do what you want. You want to go for a walk, you want to take a bath, you want to sit in the bath for 3 hours, you want to just
Mhm.
watch Netflix, do whatever you want. Just take a day off, just stop the world and just say, "I'm off,
Mhm.
off for a day."
It's so necessary, I think, when it's needed, right? I think it's great.
Absolutely.
And I just wish we could hopefully get over that guilt and just realize we're investing in ourselves. We're actually investing in our self-care. And that is not a thing that we should feel guilty about. And it's just, we're going to show up so much better for everyone else and just feel better overall for
Yeah.
ourselves. And why not?
Sometimes the energy is just heavy, you can feel it. Or it might be it's just a bad day. I'm having a bad day. It's not
Mhm.
the end of the world. A bad day does not make a bad week. It does not make a bad month or a bad year.
I
It's
agree.
just a moment.
Mm.
Let yourself just have that moment. Just say, I'm just feeling crappy today. Don't feel myself. I need to just take myself off and away from people.
I agree. Are there any alternative therapies or practices that you're an advocate for?
There are so many, aren't there? And again, just do you, boo. I've got tarot cards that I do for myself. I also do oracle readings. I've got my crystals that I carry with me sometimes, and they really help me. And you can look up crystals if that's your thing. I also am a prolific writer. I love writing. Best gift you could ever buy me is a journal and a pen. I just love journaling everything, thoughts. I write poems. It's great to get your head, it's all in your head, isn't it? And you
Mm,
just get it out onto paper and it's done.
I couldn't agree more. I love that.
Just feel your head feels free. Oh, I feel better now. I'm not sure
Mm.
what I wrote, what nonsense I wrote, but it doesn't matter. It's nobody else's business. Just get your thoughts out on paper and just journal them. And it doesn't matter. Even if you think it's nonsense, don't show it to anybody else. It's nobody
Mhm,
else's business, is it? It's
mhm.
just get it out of your head and write it down.
That's so true. I
Um,
love that.
and obviously some meditation if you can.
Is there anything that you can recommend as far as when people sometimes say, "What is meditation?" It's different for everyone, right? But I think, what's your typical meditation
I've been doing
practice.
it for years, so
Mm.
it's a little different for me, Amanda. But I can tell you when I first started, and what I recommend to everybody is just start small. Use a guided meditation. There are many guided meditations on YouTube. Find the one that works for you. And I think the first one I did, I think was maybe 1 minute. I don't think I could last more than that. But anything else, like a muscle, you've got to practice. Now I can just immediately go into a meditation. I've got a spirit team. I've got a whole team of
Mhm.
people on the other side. When I say team, they're not people, they're not living, they're
Mhm.
on the other side. But I converse with them and I ask questions, and sometimes I journal, I channel messages from the other side. And that's my spirit team. Meditation is people understand, listen, we're not Buddhas.
Mhm.
We're not Buddhist monks. No one can sit for hours. It's not realistic, is it, to sit for hours to meditate? But if you can just sit still for just practice until you get at least 5 or 10 minutes, and it will just build slowly. It's just something you have to practice. And you can continue with the guided meditation. Sometimes there's some that on there for 2, 3 hours or more. And it's just that gentle music. When your thoughts come to your head, because your brain is so noisy, God
Mm.
love it, but it's so noisy.
It
And it
is.
is there to protect us. But when you sit down and you go quiet, it's very uncomfortable to start with because you're not doing anything. So, oh, I need to be doing something. I've got to go do the shopping. I've got to go clean the car. I've got to do that. I've got to do this. And all these thoughts will come into your head. And you just got to just let them come in and just go, okay, I don't need to do anything right now. I don't need to do any of that right now. Make sure before you start meditating that you've got maybe 5 minutes in silence for yourself. So set that time, tell everybody else not to bother you, go off somewhere else if you need to. So you're giving yourself a head start right before you do anything, before you start the meditation. And I think if you do that, it's just a practice, Amanda. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's great, and just starting where you're at and just feeling how your body feels too. And if you're feeling tense, like you said, sometimes separating from your current environment, maybe that's even 10 minutes just to reset, if you will. And I think some people are more introverted, so maybe they need their alone time. Not all of us have that. And I think that is great to incorporate if you've never done it. Just having some time and just like you said, just stop the noise and having your mind have a break from all the things that, again, it's not always an emergency, but it feels like we need to be productive. And I think it's
That's
okay
it.
to have a guest that was on our podcast that I loved what he said. Your downtime is as important as your uptime. And I love that. I think it's so true. And just avoiding getting to that point where you're needing a full overhaul. So we're trying to really practice daily to prevent something catastrophic, or health, your mental health, kind of avoiding disease, if you will, when you're incorporating something for yourself every day and it's not selfish. It can be micro doses, right? When maybe you're doing a wellness retreat or wellness weekend, and that may be necessary for someone if they're really at a place, I think, where they're just really struggling. They just need to make a change. And that might be something that's needed or important as well.
Yeah, I love that. The uptime is just as important as the downtime. We've got this on switch always, haven't we? It's human doings we should be called really, because we've lost the meaning of human being because nobody's just being. But in
Mhm.
fact, if you take that time to be
Mhm.
and to be with yourself in silence, with nothing else going on, nothing, stop the world for a moment
Mhm.
and you just notice a big difference. The other thing that I would say, Amanda, which I didn't mention, is the gratitude.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
if you can incorporate as soon as you wake up in the morning, We're always in a daze, aren't we? Before the monkey mind starts, before the human doing kicks in, right? So
Right?
as you're in the transition from the sleep mode into the waking mode, you're in the kitchen making coffee. Just say thank you. Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for my night's sleep. Thank you for my beautiful soft pillow, my 8 hours of sleep. Thank you for my view. Thank you for my electricity. Thank you for my coffee. Thank you for
Mhm.
my Wi-Fi. Thank you for the
Mhm.
love in my life. Thank you for my family. Thank you that I'm alive this morning.
And I feel like when you have gratitude, everything is so much different how your day's going, and even at night before going to bed. Saying thank you and what that does, I think it's mind-blowing if you've never done it.
It's scientifically, it's a game changer, isn't it, really?
Mm.
Because you're starting your day in a positive way. And as soon as you start saying those, just start with 5 things in the morning and you start smiling. And that automatically changes the chemistry in your body. So that, because otherwise you're straight into, oh, I've got to do this and this and this. But as soon as you start with the gratitude, it changes you. So it puts you in a positive energy immediately. And I think that changes how you react
So
in
true.
as the day continues.
Because I feel like a lot of the things that happen are small stuff and goes with that saying, "Don't sweat the small stuff," and it's all really small, really, realistically. And when you look at, I'm so blessed, I'm grateful, it's just a whole different perspective, and some of those things just don't matter, right? Puts everything in perspective, and I think that's so important. I have a great question. Maybe you've already answered it similar. What would you say is the best investment that you've made for yourself?
That's a question, isn't it? Okay, I'll tell you. The first thing that comes to my mind is my coach. When I first started really seriously coaching 5 years ago, when I really stepped into it and I stepped up my game, I hired a coach. Best thing I ever did. I recommend it to everybody. Find the right coach for you because there's lots of different types of coaches. And she's still in my life today. It was Andrea Callanan, amazing coach, business and mindset coach. And what I didn't realize, Amanda, was the amount layers of conditioning that I had. I got to take off all of these heavy coats
Mm.
of just conditioning and how I felt about myself, which I didn't realize was under the surface. And I think many years ago they used to say therapists are the one that need the most
So
therapy
true.
because they never did the work on themselves. And I think it's really important these days for anybody in the wellness industry to have done, yes, you've got the life experience, but it's also come with a lot of t-shirts. We say, oh, I've
Mhm.
got a wardrobe full of those t-shirts,
It's a
right?
great way to put it, yes.
But you've got to start organising those t-shirts and throw them out and start saying, I've dealt with that one. Okay, next t-shirt, I've dealt with that one. And that's what the process that I went through with her, which
Mhm.
I didn't realise at the time was really important. And so that for me was a game changer and to work on myself. And I think once you've opened that box, self awareness, and you start working on yourself and doing the real deep inner work of trauma that you didn't even know you had,
I can relate there.
it's another cathartic as you release it from your body. And that's another
Mhm.
way of cleaning your soul and your spirituality.
I think that's great. I have a few coaches as well, and I still work with one that's more of a spiritual wellness coach, and she really helped me recognize some of that trauma that I didn't even know was there. And it's not all childhood, but it's just interesting how, like you mentioned, I love that you put that way of conditions or conditioning. It's a great concept for so many out there to look into, creating that healing for yourself. It's so needed. It takes time, it's not overnight, right? It's a
And there's
journey.
also, it's a bit of a journey, yes. It's a dark night of the soul, some of it, right? Because you're up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an easy journey. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
But it does feel amazing because your outer world reflects your inner world, and you really start to understand that when you start working on yourself.
And subconsciously, there's so many things that we may not even realize that we may be conditioned to do. And that might be what we're familiar with. And to be able to change that and say, no, I don't want to be experiencing that. I don't want that affecting me. It's amazing. It's a great experience, right? I love that. In the facet of what you're doing, there's different facets of wellness, right?
Lots. I can tell you what I'm loving right now in the wellness industry, and that is more women stepping up to be authentic and share their stories and be a living example for the women coming up behind us. I think we've only just seen the real start of it. Podcasts like yours, Amanda, and mine, and others that I see out there, women speaking their truth, having a space to share their story, excuse me, and have a voice. Because we've been silenced, really. Women were in a second position most of the time. We've lived in a very masculine dominated society.
Right.
Some countries still are
Mm.
very much very heavy energy. But I think definitely in the Western world we're starting to see more and more women that are speaking their truth and aren't afraid to do that anymore. And I'm loving that
Mhm.
because it's an example, it's a living example for the younger generation that can say, oh, look, Auntie Amanda's doing it, Auntie Beth's doing it. I could do that too, right?
It's great.
And I think that's really exciting.
I'm so happy you have that mindset, and I love helping people find their authenticity, right? And it's
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and it may be covered up, but it's so important to uncover and to be okay with being yourself. I think you can get wrapped up in the expectations. There's so many expectations out there, and just being there for yourself and letting it happen. I hope that we are helping so many out there. Like you said, the younger generation, I think they're becoming more aware, and I think it's something that they see through us, right? And it's so fun to be able to heal and help others with their journey.
Yeah, it's like crazy Auntie Beth that lives on the top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere,
I love
right?
it.
And they're like, why do you live up there, Auntie Beth? And I'm just like, why
Yeah.
not? It's my
Mhm.
journey, right?
I
This is
agree.
makes me happy. You don't
Mhm.
need to worry about it, but they can also see, oh, look at the things that she's got a podcast, or she's doing this, or this and this, and it's, oh, she can do that.
Yeah,
I could. It's possible. I could do that too, right?
it's
So yeah,
amazing.
it's inspiring, isn't it?
It is very inspirational. Are there 3 simple changes that someone could make today just to improve their overall wellness? Anything that you can think of that comes to mind?
Oh, three things I would say that probably similar things to the ones that I've already said, already talked about. So, one is to evaluate where the heavy energy is in your life and where the lighter energy is, which is the joy, pretty much, and try and schedule more of that into your life and try and maybe give less of your energy to the heavy stuff. Because I don't know about you, but we're high achieving women, aren't we, Amanda?
We
And
are.
we give our energy to 100% to everything. And I think sometimes to our detriment. So I think to evaluate where you're giving all of your energy away to the wrong things and start focusing on the lighter things and the joyful things is good. Boundaries, I would say, is another one. Start saying no. Right, that's
I love
again,
that.
it's tied into number one,
And
which
it's
is
okay.
it's okay to say no. No is a full sentence. And make sure that you putting yourself on your schedule every day in some way or another because you have to really put yourself on your own schedule. Those would be three quite simple things that you could
Mhm.
do. And we've talked about the gratitude in the
I
morning,
love
haven't
that.
we?
I think all fantastic, amazing, and if it was your last day on Earth, what thoughts come to mind, or what message would you wanna put out there?
Gosh. it was my last day. I'd be thinking to myself, did I love enough and did I have enough joy in my life? I think that's what I would be thinking. And that's what I would say to other women listening is that if you can't identify the joyful moments in your life and the joy, basic joy in your life, then start doing something about that now and take the first step.
I love how you said, look at the dark and the light and recognize that is huge because some people might just be going through the motions and just adapting, if you will, surviving, being in survival mode, and being able to step back and see, oh, that might be darker than I realized. And now I need to make a change.
I think once you start realizing it, you can just sit down and just evaluate and think, okay, where am I giving a lot of my attention to? That's very simple, isn't it? Where am I giving all my energy and attention to that's not serving any purpose? I'm not getting anything back from. It's all
Mm.
just one way.
That's such a good point. If it's not reciprocating back to you, maybe stop putting that effort in that area, right? And sometimes I've had my own path. Sometimes you'll have changes in your friendships or depending on your journey, and it's like your authenticity journey too. And that's okay. Maybe some people aren't meant to be in the new path, right? And that's okay as well.
Yeah, that's one thing you've got to understand, isn't it? When you start saying no or you change something in your life, some people will fall away. And I don't want you to panic. That's what I would say. I don't want you to panic about that because you've got to shed the old to make way for the new because the new people that are more aligned with you and want the same things for you
Mhm.
will be
What
will come into your life
possibilities
and will be there for you.
and what you can achieve or what's possible to change. And it's very mindful. And I think it's okay. It can be scary. Like you said, it's curvy, it's windy, it's not always a straight road.
It's like a roller coaster, isn't it?
It
Going up and down.
Exactly. And just being open and just letting things fall where they may, like you said, I think it's good. And you don't have to always be in control of everything. Maybe see part of that is the journey of letting go. And some of us may need that more than others. And that can be hard if you're used to always having a box for everything. And it can be okay to go with the flow, right? And see what happens.
Yeah, I don't like boxes. I don't like ticking boxes. I've never really been a ticking the boxes kind of person, but I know that's most of us, most people in the world tick boxes, isn't it? That's definitely the corporate world. If you speak to anybody that's worked in the corporate world, it's all about ticking boxes, and that's why it's quite soul sucking, really, because there's no creativity or joy in that.
And like you said, you don't have your authenticity really truly because you're not able to really truly be yourself and all the feelings and thoughts that you would feel differently. Like you said, soul sucking.
Yeah.
That's a good one. How would anyone get started with you? Is there any way they can find you? And if they wanted to do some coaching with
Oh
you,
yes, thank you. That's very kind. I've just rebranded actually.
how exciting.
Everything now
Congratulations.
is under my name. So that's
Okay.
stepping into authenticity because I had a different business name before, and this year I wanted to simplify everything, and that's what I've done. So you can find everything you need to work with me, including free resources and the podcast, under The Beth Taylor on all social media as well. It's The Beth Taylor and thebethtaylor.com.
Wonderful. I love that. And I hope that some listeners out there can benefit from what you have to offer and help them with their journey to finding their authentic self and maybe finding joy if they don't have that feeling now and being able to help them on their
Yeah.
journey. Thank you. Are there any major takeaways or things that you would like to put out there for anyone?
We didn't talk about books, but I can tell you there are certain books that have helped me on my journey. And I think that if you're starting, find a book, just have a look through the self help books. See, pretty much a lot of them talk about the same. We all want the same result, but it's just different ways to get there. So just find the books that work. And the first book that came to me, Amanda, in 1996, when I started traveling, was The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield.
Okay.
That was the first book that I ever read, and that was the first meditation that I did following the information in that book. It was fantastic. It blew my mind. That was the book I got started on. But I would say for your listeners, find people that get you, find your tribe, start putting yourself on your own schedule and do some reading, find something that can help you where you are on your journey right now, whichever one calls to you.
Love that. I remember starting in my journey was the gratitude journal. And the thing I loved it was I actually had to physically write down 10 things that I'm grateful for. And that was mind blowing for me. And that's what really started my shift in mindset. And that was many years ago. But just starting with that, I think, like you said, it's going to be different for everyone where they're at. Just start where you are.
Yeah.
And incorporating the reading, I think, is so important. And there's so many books I've loved in my journey as well. Like you said, I love your approach on just finding what works for you. It doesn't have to be the same for everyone, right?
Yeah. There's also podcasts as well. Many
Exactly.
podcasts, right?
So many. And I
Get
love,
inspired.
if you're not a reader, I love the podcast, when you're driving or maybe you're doing a walk, anytime, even at home. I love listening to podcasts.
Amazing.
There's so many that we can benefit from. So definitely, I think it's a good thing to incorporate if you haven't done so. I really appreciate you joining today. It's been a fantastic episode, and what a pleasure to have you. And I'm so happy with your journey and your rebrand. So I'm excited for what's to come for you as well.
Me too, and I'm excited for the Passionistas.
Absolutely.
Because that word passion is joy, and ista is the Italian twist on the name, so Passionista. Yeah, so it's a fantastic movement. I'm very excited. I'm always excited about joy and helping people with their joy journey, and it's been a pleasure to be here today. Thank you, Amanda.
You're so welcome. And I know it's different time zones, so I appreciate you being flexible and being there for everyone today. And have a fantastic day. Until next time, thank you so much.
Bye.
And that wraps up another inspiring episode of All in Wellness. Thank you for being a part of our community and for tuning in today. We hope you found valuable insights and encouragement to live your life fully and authentically. Remember, the journey to wellness, gratitude, and embracing your faith is ongoing, and we're here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review.